Nation, Harry here. I am with a special guest, Mark Henderson Leary. So, Mark, you do a couple of things. You were an MSP, and then you have a passion podcast. So, by way of introduction, introduce yourself to the SMB Nation. You're one of us at the end of the day.
For sure. I think once you get it in your blood and you go through the trials of what it is to be successful in IT services, you can never unlive that, unsee that, and make those scars go away. So I will say that I was, like so many people in managed services in any business, really the classic flavor of the month CEO. And what that is to say is that every month, every quarter, I had a new book under my arm, a new seminar I had been to, and I was so close to breaking through the ceiling and exploding the business every single month that just 7 short years after attempting that, got to the point where I was able to sell the business. And I really was fortunate enough that the company, it was also a managed services company, bought mine. They trusted me enough to put me in charge of their growth strategy. And while I wasn't an owner in the new company, I really helped them put their vision on the ground. Mm-hmm. And we grew that from about $7.5 million in managed services and other services revenue to about 20 million. Wow. Before I left. So it was a lot of fun to get exposed to that and be a participant in making that happen. And it really fired me up about what it was to make business simpler and easy to run. And so since then, that's really been my passion, is to help visionaries get out of their own way, and really run a better business in an easier way and ultimately live a better life.
Yeah, so talk to us about your, again, I call it a passion project. Maybe it'll be a source of revenue for you as well, but your podcast, what's going on?
For sure. So what I discovered is that I like to talk and discover and learn, like so many people do. And so I had for many years, people say, hey, that conversation was great. I wish other people could have heard that. And so a couple of years ago, I thought, well, why don't I just push the record button and see what happens? And so I did, and it was electrifying. We really had some great conversations that really lit me up, lit the guest up, and we found that people found that it was very valuable content. So then when COVID hit, it would kind of double down on that. And so I've really dug into what are the subjects that confound entrepreneurs, particularly visionary entrepreneurs who feel like they can make a difference but are stuck in some way.
Yeah.
And so we're just digging into these subjects that you already know something about. But this time, these two people, me and my guest, are digging into the details in ways that hopefully will get you to unlock that stuck spot that has been confusing you in the past so you can run a better business and like I said, live a better life.
Yeah, let me see if I can, on the fly, go to a book we published in our Pocket MBA insignia. This would have been 2010 or 11. It's New Success Secrets. But what it really is one of our authors, T-Cat, goes by a single name, T-Cat, like Cher the singer.
Sure. Why wouldn't you?
He's a thinking man. And he talked about success teams, basically peer groups that sunset. So maybe a success team is only together for 9 months and then it sunsets. And the blockage you're discussing, he calls BS. And it's not what you think. BS stands for basic story. And he says everybody has a basic story. And Mark, an example of that would be, and I've seen it, I don't think I've gotten caught up in this particular trap, but I've seen it with others where they go, well, I can't open the doors for my new business until I get, the business plan, the business license, the federal tax ID, this. And they have all these reasons why they can't turn the key and open for business. I'm sure you bumped into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so tell us about the story you did recently with Tim Loney, and then we'll call it good on Mark and SMB Nation.
Sure. So Tim's a good friend. He's a brother in the managed services and IT services world for 20 years now, and runs a great business. And I guess it was 2 years ago, he called me one day and said, well, actually, I think his wife called me and said, Tim's had a massive heart attack.
Yeah.
And he can't run the business right now, and he needs you to jump in and keep things going while we figure things out. And it was one of those very uncertain moments. And in a pandemic world, we know about uncertainty. and where we didn't know what was going to happen. Like, was he going to make it? Was he just going to be out for a couple of days?
Yeah.
We're going to be running this for a while. And so it was a wonderful opportunity and a privilege to get that call, to be able to help him through that and discover that he was running a really great business with really loyal clients and really loyal employees who were willing to really sacrifice and do great stuff. And it was an amazing, rewarding experience. But I had him on the podcast to share the story because he has so many lessons to learn from that, looking back 20 years. And I can I think it's a wonderful podcast. I recommend you check it out and listen to it. Yeah,
we have the link down below in the blog.
But the essence of what I learned from even interviewing and knowing him for 15, 20 years. And I said, well, what did you learn from this? And he was basically boiled it down to like, don't take any crap. It's like, now that I've been on the edge of death, it's like, there's no point in settling in life anywhere. And ultimately that lowers stress by setting your standards higher now. And there's so much to learn from that.
Yeah, that's a good podcast. And last question, you use a long format. We're kind of in the 5 to 8 minute range over here at SMB Nation. You're the one I listened to, Tim Loney, was 60 minutes. Is that pretty common for you to go with the longer format?
Yeah, 60 minutes is short. I'm trying to get them under 60 minutes, but what I'm finding is that we get into details. And so I tell people, if we can get this content under 60 minutes, it's easier to digest. But if we're onto something important, we see the rabbit run across the road, we got to go chase the rabbit and get to what matters. And I've had 2.5 hour conversations where we're talking about the life of the visionary and the impact and how to find fulfillment. And, and it's heady stuff. And so people like to kind of go on that journey and find out, live the life. And imagine a long car ride with somebody who thinks like you, and just imagine being part of a conversation with people who have the same problems with you as you, and you can just participate and listen. And that's exactly the idea.
Yeah. Well, hey, next time we connect with you again, we're going to talk about EOS. Let me see if I got this straight. It's the Entrepreneurial Operating System. Help me out.
Yeah. Operating system. It's like you have an operating system for your computer. We have an operating system for the business, just to help you run a better business and live a better life.
All right. We'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks, Mark.
All right. Thanks, Harry.